Hey guys, welcome back to another exciting video. Today we are doing something completely different, something completely amazing. You and I are going to build, no, not build, we're not going to build it. We're going to design Stormworks 2, aka the next Geometa game. Now we don't know what the next game is, but judging by the February 10th, where's it at? February 10th announcement, and if we scroll down here, they are working on a new game engine and taking lessons from Stormworks, like what they screwed up on. So Stormworks 2 is not what it's going to be called, but it says taking lessons from Stormworks, and from what our players told us, we are discussing a lot about player authorship, modding, gameplay, and purpose, and a lot of things that I've never done before in a game. So it may not be called Stormworks 2, but it's going to take all of the ideas from Stormworks and the community, hopefully, and build a new game. So what we're going to do, what you and I are going to do, is we are going to design Stormworks 2, aka the next Geometa game, because we have, like, you know, I don't know how long we have. We may have over a year to design it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do one of these videos every week, and we're going to figure out what features and design choices you would make if you and I were building the game. So this is the first video, so let's go ahead and get it started. Alright, so I am in Stormworks, the original Stormworks, not Stormworks 2, or the next Geometa game. No, I am in the original Stormworks. So if you're watching this from the future, this is Stormworks. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make up our game design here, okay? So first off, we're going to grab what from Stormworks? We're going to grab, I think, the world of Stormworks, the open map gameplay. That's the first feature we're going to do. Okay, we're going to grab that and put it into our new design build, okay? Second thing, we are going to make sure that we put on the feature list right here. Let's write it down, that we are going to keep open vehicle building. So we can design trains, planes, cars, ships, submarines, and anything else that comes to mind. That is going to be in our next game as well. So we're going to have blocks that allow you to do that, just like we have now in the latest version of Stormworks. And so what I'm going to do now is add a few new features, and then I'm going to rely on you in the comments below to start talking about it. And then we'll do another video next week, and we'll see what you guys came up with for feature sets. Okay, so let me go ahead and do my first feature, which of course is to stop calculating physics on sliders and pivots. Okay, so I'm not going to show you how that works because it would be more of a pain to fake it than just tell you. So what we're going to do is just talk about that. Right there we have a gun. It has a pivot that goes left and right, up and down, and those pivots currently calculate the load on them, and that creates lag in the game. Well, not lag, it creates slowdown of the physics engine. So for our next game that we are designing here, Stormworks 2, we're just going to call it Stormworks 2. What should we call it? Stormworks 2 Experimental. We'll call it that, okay? And so for the next version of Stormworks, the pivots will not calculate their load. So if there's a heavy object on it, the pivot does not care, the slider does not care, and all we do is we animate the pivot left, right, up or down, the slider up or down. No physics are being calculated, okay? So that's going to help us with our new game because we're not going to be calculating sub-bodies that are on pivots and sliders, okay? That's going to help us. Trust me, it will help us. So we're only going to be worrying about, moving the sub through water, if it gets hit. Those are things that we need to worry about with our physics. We don't need to worry about the gun going up, down, left, right. It doesn't help us with the game. It's not important. We just want to be able to move our sub bodies without having to calculate them. Okay, clear? Good. Okay, so that is my first feature. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on our list here. We're just going to call that, I don't know, animation, pivots, and sliders. Okay, I don't know. That just means that we're not going to calculate the sub bodies on it. Okay, good. All right, so the next feature I'm going to show you, let's jump into the editor. We are in the editor, and our next feature we are going to be adding to our Stormworks 2 Experimental is we are going to go ahead and add an engine here, okay? All right, there we go. We're going to just add this here. Now, when I add this engine, you're going to see on the right here, we have layers now. Now, this engine was automatically labeled as an engine, okay? And so that is on the engine layer, okay? We're going to add a microcontroller now. This is just some random one I'm pulling here. Okay, and you can see right now that that layer is on microcontroller. So we're going to change that to engine, okay? And then we're just going to hook this up really quick. Okay. Boom, like that. Okay, very cool. Now we're going to grab another one. Let's grab, oh, I don't know. Let's grab a pump. Grab a pump, and we'll put the pump down. Okay, now that one is added a new layer, and it's called fluid. Okay, so we have the engine on the engine layer, and this pump on the fluid layer. Okay, grab knot gate. Okay, so the knot gate, all right, it added a new layer called logic. We're going to change that logic to fluid. Okay, and now we're going to connect these. All right, there we go. So now you can see that our logic is connected. Here's a pump to a knot gate, and they are on the fluid level. We've got the engine connected to this microcontroller. This engine is on the engine layer. This microcontroller is on the engine layer. So now if we uncheck the fluid layer, you'll see that our logic for the fluid layer now disappears. You see that? So we're hiding the connections from the pump to the knot gate. And if we go ahead and click the other layer, we now see no logic connected. And if we click the fluid layer back, you can now see, we can see the fluid layer. And this is just a rough idea. We need to figure this out a little bit more, but I just kind of wanted to give you an idea of what I was thinking, that we could add groups of logic and parts and put them in layers. And then those layers could be hidden and shown. So what that allows us to do is when we load something like this mess, where you're seeing all of these nodes going back and forth, and I'm not going to fake this one, but you know, we can go ahead and turn these off. Another good feature might be to hide the donuts and the dots based on what layer these things are assigned. Basically, everything would be assigned a layer automatically or manually, and then you could hide and show all of these things. So basically you would have your microcontroller for your engine labeled as an engine. You'd have your engines labeled engine. And for that layer, you could see just the parts that are related to making your build move. And then of course you could do logic for your HUDs or whatever. And you would have these layers, and you can just, you know, click on and click off, and you can easily navigate around this mess. Because what happens as you start building in Stormworks is you get too many things going on. Like I don't know what's connected to what and what is exactly I'm looking at. I know that's a pump down here, but other than that, it starts to all blend in. And so what the layer feature would be is to allow you to see your different components as a group. So you'd have, you know, your different groups. I think I'm starting to say the same thing over and over again, but that is the idea behind layers in the editor, and being able to tag your engine parts and all your blocks and your microcontrollers. So there you go. All right, so let's go back to our feature list here. So from the top, of course, you know, we have the features of bringing in the world and keeping the world, being able to build any type of vehicle. And we also have our pivots are now based around animation and not around physics. So they move things, but don't calculate things. And then finally, my new feature for Stormworks 2 Experimental is, of course, the layer interface for the vehicle editor. All right, so now it's your turn. In the comments below, go ahead and type in a feature and kind of explain it, if you can, how it works and what it's for. So don't type in fixed multiplayer. That's not what we're looking for here. We are making a feature list for the next Stormworks game, and we're designing it the way we would like to have it. Maybe Deltars will look at this and think it's useful. I don't know. But what we're going to do is keep building this out while they're working on the real game, and, you know, maybe see how much of this in the end is in the game. So we don't know what's happening. We don't know if it's going to be a space game or whatever, but we're going to go ahead and design Stormworks 2. Okay, so right now, go ahead and take some time, think about it, and in the comments below, write your feature and how it works and what it's for. And in the next video, next week, I will pick as many as I can within reason and see if we can add it to our feature list here. And this will be kind of our design doc that we're working on for Stormworks 2 Experimental, our, you know, our pretend game. So that is it for today. If you haven't done so already, hit the bell so it goes ding dong when I upload a video. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. And thanks for participating in the Stormworks 2 design video series. I don't know what I'm calling this. Let's just go with that. All right, see you next time. Bye-bye.